I'm Ted Treises, and we're here at Gear West today for some more tips. To my left, I have my beautiful wife, Dani Treises.
Hi there.
And today we're going to be going over a segment that we like to call, what did we come up with today, Dani?
Pro tip versus amateur move. It's really all about pro tips and amateur moves racing triathlon. Whether it's your first, your second, your 50th, we've all been there. We've all made some amateur moves. Hopefully help you prevent one or two.
Yeah, so to kick it off, my pro tip would be to give your whole system, your whole training program a pressure test, and you'll have your A race out in the future, but get a B race in. And I think what's really important about the B race that people don't understand is that you'll roll into that and you'll start thinking about things that maybe didn't pop up in training, where you're thinking about, is my nutrition plan on point? Should I start incorporating this? Is that bottom bracket that's been creaking in the morning something that is maybe a more concern once race day is in the picture now and I need to get it fixed this week? So these kind of things that will pop up when you do have a B race and you do have something to get nervous about will kind of help once that A race comes about, so that way you can hit the ground running and be sure, okay, I'm very confident in what I've been doing. I'm confident in my nutrition plan. I feel like I'm getting in all the right fuel. My bike's ready to go. I can easily pack it, and race day can be a little easier. So that would be my big tip. Before you spend thousands of dollars on some A race further away, maybe have a B race a little bit closer, a little less stakes at hand, but still get the blood pumping and you're thinking about, okay, what can I do to improve my race?
A couple of pro tips that we're going to give. We'll just walk through swim, bike, run, kind of in that order. So starting with the swim. One of the common mistakes that we see and have kind of dealt with ourselves is going out too hot on the swim. Now, I'll couch that with, you do have to have a very strong start on the swim. Usually we want to make a good pack and find some fast feet. However, the swim being a technical sport, you'll have to practice this in the pool, which hopefully you're swimming a lot and know what it feels like to actually go faster in the pool. But if you go out too hot, you can end up just thrashing around, which ends up to be actually just very inefficient.
And I think something people don't consider is that it's the start of the race. There's people thrashing around you. Like, you're going to be jacked up. Your stress is going to be very high, through the roof. And so even you swimming what feels like maybe a little slower is probably still way faster than you actually would normally swim at that perceived effort. So kind of use that adrenaline to your advantage. So then onto the bike, what do we got there? Yeah,
on the bike, one pro tip that we could give is carrying backup nutrition. Know the aid stations on the race course, because that could be potential for backup. But, say you're going along, you're going to hit something or the other in the road. Not all roads are crystal clear. Or say you lose a gel or launch a bottle, have a backup plan. And not just saying, well, I feel okay now, we'll skip it, because tell you what, you're going to pay for it later probably if that's a key part of your nutrition plan.
Yeah, and then for me, how I handle that tip is, what I do is I have my suit here, the Zoot P1 tri-suit. I always keep a couple extra gels in the back, and I'll put that in even before the start of the swim. So that way I have that extra insurance in there. And a lot of times I get to the end of the race and end up, taking the gels out because I never needed them. But just having that insurance in there, so if things do go astray, I'll have that extra, 60 grams of carbs that I would have lost if I were to eject the bottle at some point. So onto the run.
All right, onto the run. I'm going to do this one similar to the swim. Don't go out too hot. I see it way too often. You get really excited, especially me. I love the run, so I'm like, yes, let's do it. But the tip is to start off steady and smooth. Again, get your nutrition in, get some hydration in, get your feet under you, and just start at a targeted pace that you're comfortable running the whole race in. Don't skip the first aid station because you're feeling great now. Again, you're gonna pay for it maybe at mile 4 or 10. So don't get too excited, I guess, at the start of the run. That'd be my biggest piece of advice. It's really hard to get pacing right, especially in a long distance triathlon. You're going to be mitigating losses at the end of the day. You will probably slow down some. That's fine. But really trying to, like I said, mitigate that by starting conservatively at a planned pace and not skipping the important things like nutrition, hydration, pouring water on your head, staying cool.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up the tips that we have. This was the Pro Tips Amateur Moves.
Yeah.
Pro Tips Amateur Moves segment at Gear West. Reach out if you have any questions. Our DMs are always open. You can call here. There's many people at Gear West that can help. So plenty of resources available.